This Friday's video is the result of two different things coming together. Number one, my nephew has been asking me for literal months at this point if I would crochet him a Labubu. And number two, I need a project that will use up this Halloween yarn. If you happen to see last week's video, you will know that I purchased this for a specific Halloween project, but I didn't get the entirety of the order. I only ended up with these two skeins out of, I think it was the 6 that I purchased. So that is not nearly enough to complete that initial project. And as I also mentioned in last week's video, this is not really something that I want sitting around on my shelf. I know it's just gonna collect dust there, so I really would like to use it up ASAP. And that's what I'm planning to do today. So this is very much at my nephew's request, and I'll level with you guys, I feel really bad. He's been asking me for months to do this, and I just haven't had the time to sit down and design a Labubu. But before we dive headfirst into this new yarn and start crocheting with it, I want to, create the pattern. And to do that, I'm going to use this 12 ply scrap yarn that I have. First things first, let's get up a picture of a Labubu. Although, because I spoke to my nephew the other day, and he has since informed me that there's a name for fake Labubus, Lafufu. I think that was it. I think it was an F, a Lafufu, not a Labubu. I don't know. Correct me in the comments. I'm not up with the Labubu / Lafufu lore. So looking at these pictures, it seems to be a fairly basic shape. This shouldn't be too hard to design. I don't like the way they stare at me. Looking at this, I think if we start with the feet, we can create 2 legs, crochet them together, and then crochet the body off of that. And then once we have that piece, we can size all of the other limbs to that. The next question I have is, what exactly do the feet look like? To be honest, I don't want to be typing Labubu feet pics into Google. Don't want that in my search history. The spies in my laptop might have a few questions about that. But thankfully, I don't think I'll need to Google it because I can see a few images that do show the feet. So they look fairly long, narrowish with 3 toes. I think that's enough to get us started. So I will minimize you. Actually, I probably need that up so I can reference it, don't I? Okay, we'll start off with the legs. I was thinking to make the feet and leg one piece, but it might be easier to make the legs separate and then just sew the feet to the bottom of them. Alright, so I've increased out for 3 rounds and I'm at 15 total stitches. I think that will be wide enough for the bottom of the foot. So now I just want to add the length to this piece. Now, the leg itself, as I said, is fairly wide, but I think increasing out by 6 might be too much of an increase. So I think I'm going to keep increasing by 3, but stagger that with rounds of just single crochet in between. So this is what I got for the first leg. Consulting the picture, they seem to have fairly stubby little legs. So I think I've got that at a good height, but I'll get a clearer picture of that once I've crocheted the second leg and then crocheted both of them together. Speaking of which, second leg done. And while I was going to crochet the 2 legs together and continue crocheting the body from there, I thought I would stop and make the arms first. Yes, I am still going to crochet the legs together and then the body off that. But once again, consulting our Labubu image, looking at the arms, I think this is a good opportunity to crochet those first and then crochet them into the body as I'm crocheting that. I said crochet too much in that sentence, but yeah, given the shape or shapes that I'm working with, this is a chance to do a at least partially no sew pattern. Something that I didn't take into consideration before crocheting the arms instead of the body was that it would be difficult to get them like proportional because I don't have the body to size them against. So for now, I've just used my best judgment with the arms, but once I have crocheted the body piece, I will then sort of figure out whether I need to add more rounds, reduce more rounds, even make the arms wider if necessary. But for now, these arms will do as they are, which means we can stop with this detour and head back to the original plan of crocheting the body off of the legs. This is what I've got so far. I am wondering if I narrowed down sort of too quickly here, though bearing in mind I haven't added the stuffing yet, and also I need to attach the arms, which is what I want to do now. So I've got 18 single crochet in the last round that I did, and each of the arms has 6 single crochet across the top. What I need to do now is break down this round and figure out the best position to match these 6 stitches to 6 stitches on either side of the piece here. The stuffing certainly helped. That looks much better. I might want to make a few tweaks because I don't know if the arms are sitting quite right. But like for now, I'm happy to leave it as it is. Any tweaks that I want to make, I usually do that at the end when like all the pieces are assembled and I can get like a good overview of the whole thing. So I will leave it there for now. I don't think I need to add an additional round to the body. So we're going to cut you, but leave a tail for sewing this time because we will need that to attach the head, which is the piece that we're going to do next. Now with the head, I'm going to make this 2 separate pieces. I'm going to make like the head portion that includes the face, and I'm going to do that in a cream yarn. I've got this yarn, it's stuck. It's not quite the right shade, it's a bit light, but this is a prototype. It doesn't matter right now. But in addition to that, I'm going to need to create sort of a, I don't know, what would you call it? A hoodie? Like the colored section that goes around the head. So I'm going to start off with the cream section first, but if I look at my image here, let's zoom in a little bit. It looks like this creepy little demon rabbit has eyebrows, and like I could embroider them on, but I think I have a technique which could work well in this situation, and that is the like technique I use to create wrinkles, which, yeah, I got my mandrake as an example. So I use it to create wrinkles like this. I probably don't need to make them quite as pronounced as they are in this guy, but in order to keep track of where exactly I need to place those, I think I'm going to make use of a running stitch marker. Not something I use all that often, but yeah, I think it'll be helpful in this case. I've run into a similar problem with the head and the, what are we calling it, the hood piece, as I did with the arms and the body. Like with the length of the arms, it's hard to judge where exactly I need to put the eyebrow ridges because I can't measure them or size them against the hood piece that's going to go around this. So at this point, I'm just guesstimating. I think I'm going to put them in this next round, which is, what are we on? Which is round 9, but depending on how that plays out when the hood piece is in position, it's something I might need to change. Yeah, I have some thoughts in regards to the headpiece, but I'm not going to share them just yet because there's a chance they may change after I've crocheted the hood piece. So that's what I'm going to do first. It is hood testing time. I keep calling it a hood, but it doesn't feel like it's the right word, but I don't know what else I would call it. Head pocket, maybe? I don't know. I think for now we'll just stick with hood. So if I shove that in there, I mean, I think maybe I should hold it up here and put a picture here so you guys can see the comparison. But I think that's a good size. If I make this too long, I'm not going to have the space to add all the face details. And funny I should bring those up because you know how before I said I had some thoughts and they might change when I crocheted the hood? Spoiler alert, they haven't changed. My main thought before was that I had put the eyebrows too low down the face. And yes, can confirm that is definitely the case. So I will have to make some adjustments to the pattern. But that is kind of a problem now because I want to get the eyes like the right length as well. And that's going to be harder to do if the eyebrows aren't in the correct position. I can still, you know, probably make it work. This is the prototype, so mistakes like that are bound to happen. But for now, I'm just going to tilt the head upwards a little bit so the eyebrows look like they sit higher on the face. And you know what, I still don't know if I want to go with the wrinkles for the eyebrows. They're a bit uneven. I'm not sure if I like that, but yeah, fixing those problems later. For now, I want to finish crocheting all the pieces for this. As of finishing that, the hood / head pocket, I just really need to crochet all the smaller pieces like the feet, the hands, and the ears, and the eyes. I was literally just talking about them, and the eyes. I've crocheted everything that I need at this point, with the exception of the eyes. I was going to do so, but then I thought I need to make some changes to the eyebrows anyway. And if I do that, it's probably going to change up what I need for the eyes. So I may as well skip over that portion now and, you know, just wait, because I will be crocheting additional Labubus. There'll be the one for my nephew. There'll be the one that I do for the written pattern, and then once my nephew has one, there's a very likely chance that my other nibblings are going to want their own version too. So plenty of opportunity to both nail down the head design but also crochet the eye pattern. But because I'm not going to be crocheting that now, that means I can jump straight to the assembly. Prototype complete. I do want to make a few like minor changes to this. I think the ears are a little bit long, so I'll adjust the length of both the outer and inner pieces. I do want to try something different with these eyebrows because I'm just not feeling the shape of them like this. As for any other changes I could potentially make, I don't know. I'm like on the fence about the body. I don't know if I've made this top section, the torso part, too narrow, but like when I put the arms down side by side, like it kind of works. If I made the body wider, would the arms then like stick out like this? I don't know. So for now, I think I might just leave that. And the only other thing that I'm kind of unsure about right now is the face. I think I've left enough space to add both the eyes and the mouth, but until I actually do those things, I'm not going to know for certain. So when it comes to the changes I want to make in this pattern, there's definitely a couple of things I can do right now, but there's also a few things that are just going to have to be like wait and sees. All that I have left to crochet now are the heads for each of my pieces. I've done all the other little bits and bobs. With the heads though, I'm aiming to try something just a little bit different from what I did in the prototype. And I'm talking about the eyebrows in particular. So here I put one round of single crochet in between where I first started the eyebrow and then when I finished it up. For the big head, which will be going on this guy here, I'm going to put 2 rounds of single crochet in between and see what sort of a difference that makes. But in the head I'm going to be making for this guy, I think I'm going to replace the wrinkle, the ridge, whatever we're calling it. I'm going to replace those with did I do my eyebrows 4 single crochet or 3 single crochet across? I can't remember, but either way I'm going to replace the ridge itself with either 3 or 4 puff stitches. And I'm hoping I will end up liking one of those a little bit more than I do this. And if I don't, I guess I'll just have to figure something else out. I've accidentally made a liar of myself. I didn't end up doing the second alternative for the eyebrows because I saw the first one, which was the puff stitches, and I was like, oh yeah, that's heaps better. So I just decided to stick with that. The original ones, they were just too uneven for my tastes. And, you know, I assumed adding in an additional row of, or just adding in an additional row of single crochet wasn't really going to do much to fix that. And these just look better. I think they're slightly more accurate, so I'm just going to stick with those. But now that the head pieces have been crocheted, that's the last bit of crochet I needed to do, we can begin putting these bloody demon rabbits together. The Labubus are as finished as they're going to get right now. I don't know if you can see from this distance, but I haven't, please don't grab my hair. I haven't finished the mouths because what I was going to do was use my fabric glue or my Mod Podge to glue down the smile so it would maintain that shape, and I just find that easier to do with glue rather than embroidering on. Whenever I try to embroider on a smile in, you know, a curve, it always ends up with too many jagged or sharp edges for me, so I prefer to use glue. However, I haven't done that in quite a while. It's been so long, in fact, that my remaining Mod Podge had completely dried out. So these guys are stuck with pins in their faces for now. But outside of that, the demon rabbits are complete. Let's talk about this one first because I want to discuss the yarn. So originally I was going to do this one in like just the purple and the black, but I realized very quickly into working this up that I was not going to have enough with just those two skeins. So I sent my sister on an errand for me to get another one, and all she could find was the variegated version. That was all that was left in store. So I did my best to try and incorporate it into this Labubu. I tried to make it look like he was wearing sort of like a t-shirt hoodie. I'll be honest, I'm not thrilled with how this one turned out. Like the sleeves on the t-shirt just made the arms a little bit bulky. And while I think with the overall Labubu pattern, I did make the top of the body a little bit too narrow, it really stands out in this version. The ears are flopping all over the place. And I think also what made the experience a little bit less enjoyable is that I don't particularly like working with chenille yarns, but I have to say that of all the ones I have tried, this one was, like, it was fairly decent. It wasn't the best I had worked with. For some strange reason, I found the variegated yarn a lot softer and a lot easier to work with than the two solid colors. They had a much coarser texture. I don't know if that applies across the range because I only have or had these three skeins to work with, but it was just something that I noticed. Outside from that, it wasn't too difficult to work with. I'm probably not going to be purchasing this yarn again personally, but if you are someone who likes, you know, these kinds of yarns, I would recommend giving it a go. One big positive, in my opinion, was that there was barely any shedding for this. One of my big issues with any plush yarn is that normally when you're done with it, your house is just covered in a thin layer of fluff. But that didn't happen in this case, which is really good because it means there was less of a cleanup afterward. But yeah, on the whole, personally, I'm not going to be buying this yarn again, but it may be worth a shot if you're someone who likes working with this stuff. So that is it for the Halloween themed Labubu, and literally the only reason I made this version was to use up this yarn because, as I said in, I think it was last week's video, the spider one, I just didn't want this yarn sitting on my shelf because I had nothing else to use it for, and I'm still in like the slow process of trying to destash rather than accumulate more yarn. So you can go there. And the Labubu that this video was really about was this one, the Labubu for my nephew. Like, to be honest, like, I think they're kind of ugly, but I don't know if it's my crochet pattern that's ugly or if it's just because I think Labubus are a little bit ugly. Like, if I cover the face, right, like, that's kind of fine. It's like a decent hybrid rabbit human thing, I suppose. But then when I remove my hand and I see this staring at me, I go, I spent way too much time the last week or so trying to analyze why exactly I'm a bit put off by Labubus. And I genuinely think it's because of the face. They kind of remind me of dolls in that respect. I've said in previous videos, I do not like dolls. They creep me the hell out. And I think Labubus have some of that same sort of vibe. It's like kind of a human face, but not quite enough. It's just enough to like give me the heebie-jeebies. So yes, after conducting all that research, I think that's why I don't really like them. It simply comes down to the face. So yeah, if I keep that covered, it's fine. But yeah, this one worked out okay. As I mentioned, if I was to make this pattern again, there's probably a few tweaks I would make. I mean, I did make a few tweaks from the original prototype that I did, but I would probably go on to make a few more, including, like I said, the narrowness of the body here. And even the head, I don't know if I made that too tall or not tall enough. Maybe it's because I haven't done the teeth yet. I just don't know if the features fit right on there. But yeah, that would be something I figure out if I ever revisited this pattern. The one thing that I wasn't too pleased about with this particular Labubu is how the eyes turned out. For the first time in probably, I don't know, 3-4 years, and only the second or third time ever, I tried to use roving wool and my felting needle, and like, it's okay, but I think it could have worked out a lot better. I don't know much about like needle felting. Perhaps if I looked up some different techniques, the colours might blend together a little bit better. Perhaps I just need to needle felt more. I'm not sure. But my nephew has already seen the Labubu up to this point, and like he was really happy with it. So I'm content just to leave it for now. But if I ever do more needle felting in the future for like little detail pieces, I think I might need some practice first. But yeah, of the two that I made, definitely like this one better. I think it's really fitting that this one is Halloween themed because it is a hell of a lot more creepier than this one. Or maybe just a little bit creepy. They're both pretty bloody creepy, aren't they? But let's talk about something that's not creepy for a sec. And today's feature creator on the hookup is Nightlife Fiber Arts by Shrewsie. And they say, I learned to crochet during COVID and it very quickly became a form of expression and therapy. I work to create works of art and usable pieces for others to bring them joy. I am currently working on designing more original pieces and developing patterns. I can totally relate to that. I use crochet and like video making for the exact same reason. Expression and therapy. Works pretty well. And I was going to make a joke that it's a little bit cheaper than actual therapy, but I don't know. I've bought quite a bit of yarn in my time. But anyway, if you'd like to check out all of Nightlight Fiber Arts by Shrewisie's links, they will be down in the description, and so will link to the hookup form if you'd like to apply for yourself. If I'm able to, finish those off before this video actually goes up, I will insert a little video clip here of the finished mouths. But if not, maybe I can show them off in another video one day if my nibblings haven't abducted them by then. Although I don't think it's technically classed as an abduction if I made them for my nibblings in the first place. So thank you all for watching today. Just before we go, I do want to wish everyone who celebrates a happy Halloween. Have fun, stay safe, consider subscribing if you haven't already, like the video if you enjoyed it, share it if you think it's worth sharing, and I will see you in the next one.